welcome. It's indisputable. I'm your host, Rashad Ritchie. Good to be with you. We have a lot on the agenda today. Breaking down news of the day with me, none other than the incomparable Sharon Reed. Always fascinating to have her brilliance on the program. All right. First story of the day, Donald Trump has serious business he's executing at the White House. He throws a fit about his presidential portrait and compares it to Obama. Let's go, put it up full mass. Okay, Donald, I see what you're saying. President Donald Trump blasted a portrait of himself on Sunday, calling it purposefully distorted and attacking Colorado Governor Jared Polis, a Democrat, for it being placed at the state's Capitol building. Trump and the portrait of former President Barack Obama in comparison, quote, looks wonderful, all right? Quote, nobody likes a bad picture or painting of themselves, but the one in Colorado, in the state capitol, put up by the governor, along with all other presidents, was purposefully distorted to a level that even I, perhaps, have never seen before. The artist also did President Obama, and he looks wonderful. But the one on me is truly the worst. She must have lost her talent as she got older, end quote. Put the picture back up. So let's get this right, Mr. President. You're comparing yourself to a former president. You believe he's wonderful. He looks amazing. You think you do not. You blame the artist for this. You think there's a conspiracy to get you. I think you are projecting, sir, that the painting is true, meaning it's distorted in your opinion because you are. For comparison, here are the two portraits as displayed. Once again, the artist on her website, Trump wrote Sunday that he, quote, would much prefer not having a picture than having this one. But many people from Colorado have called and written to complain. In fact, they are actually angry about it. A few facts worth noting. Former President Barack Obama, he has kept himself fit for 15 years. He is 15 years younger and doesn't lather his skin in a bronzer nor eat Big Macs every morning. He concluded by taking a shot at Polis on crime and violent drug gangs, which has been at the center of controversy and court cases over the deportation flights. Quote, I am speaking. Wait, look, okay, put the pictures back up. I'm trying to get through this without laughing at the irony of this. He says, quote, I am speaking on their behalf to the radical left governor, Jared Polis, who was extremely weak on crime, in particular with respect to Tren de Aragua, which practically took over Aurora. Don't worry, we saved it. Take it down, Trump wrote. Jared should be ashamed of himself. Okay, so Trump wants you to believe that he really cares about the good people of Colorado and their gang activity there. But he started the conversation with Obama's picture looks better than mine. All right, Sharon, this would be one of the most iconic SNL skits of all time. But unfortunately, it's real.
It's real and it's sad because there's some really good artists out there. And this is one of them, okay? Right. Doc, I can say, listen, if you got the right person, I've said to makeup artists, can you make me look a little more like Beyonce? Wouldn't you know it? They can do a little bit of it. They're not miracle workers though, That's Doc. Right. They have to work with the canvas you bring them. And the person who mentioned slathering that suntan stuff on, it's drying. I don't care what they tell you on the bottle. It dries the skin. And there's this, be the best you can be. You stop comparing to other people, Doc. Now stop it. It's hard for you to perhaps understand. You're a good looking man, but this guy, it's what happens when people don't tell you the truth.
That's right.
That's just
that is so wrong. Okay, all right. We will not be bringing you another story. Okay, hell of a thing. So Pete Hegseth, the guy who's in control of the whole military, decided to have a top secret conversation about secret war strategy plans in a group chat. Put him up full mask. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth disclosed secret war plans via a group chat. Here's what we know so far. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth disclosed war plans in an encrypted group chat that included a journalist 2 hours before U.S. troops launched attacks against the Houthi militia in Yemen. The White House said on Monday, confirming an account in the magazine The Atlantic. Put up a picture of the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. His name is Jeffrey Goldberg, wrote in an article published on Monday that he was mistakenly added to the text chat on the commercial messaging app Signal by Michael Waltz, the National Security Advisor. It was an extraordinary breach of American national security intelligence. Not only was the journalist inadvertently included in the group, but the conversation also took place outside the secure government channels that would normally be used for classified and highly sensitive war planning. You would think they would be very sensitive about this since they care so much about Hillary Clinton's emails. All right, so Mr. Goldberg, editor-in-chief, said he was able to follow the conversation. Now, he went to the meeting. He got the invite, went to the meeting. So he was able to follow the conversation among senior members of Trump's national security team in the 2 days leading up to the strikes in Yemen. The group also included VP J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Mr. Goldberg wrote, at 11:44 a.m. on March 15th, Mr. Hegseth posted the, quote, operational details of forthcoming strikes on Yemen, included information about targets, weapons the U.S. would be deploying, and attacking sequencing, Mr. Goldberg wrote. The information contained in them, if they had been read by an adversary of the United States, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel, particularly in the broader Middle East. In an interview, Mr. Goldberg said that, quote, up until the Hegseth text on Saturday, it was mainly procedural and policy texting. Then it became war plans. And to be honest, that sent a chill down my spine, end quote. So Mr. Goldberg did not publish the details of the war plans in his article. Mr. Hegseth, Mr. Goldberg wrote, said that, quote, the first detonations in Yemen would be felt 2 hours hence at 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. So I waited in my car in a supermarket parking lot. If this signal chat was real, I reasoned the targets would soon be bombed, he added. At around 1:55, initial airstrikes hit buildings and neighborhoods and around Yemen's capital. This is where the leadership strongholds are known to be, according to Pentagon officials and residents. The strikes continued throughout Saturday and into the next few days. So Hegseth did what he has been promoted for doing. He denied the accusations. Quote, nobody was texting war plans. And that's all I have to say about that. Hegseth said outside a plane in Hawaii after being asked about Goldberg's access to the chat. Can we put Goldberg back up? Mr. Goldberg, if we believe Hegseth, Sir, I believe you have a higher calling in life. You are a prophet, sir. You know the future details of war plans down to the minute of the airstrike, according to Hegseth, because there was no texting of any information in reference to the war. You just knew about this divinely. All right, Sharon, here's the thing. So the way they did this, obviously completely elementary, right? And then the response to it shows how much disdain they really have for accountability, the American public, the safety of the military. Absolutely no accountability, no investigation internally, nothing.
No. And I listened to some of the Senate hearings and Tulsi Gabbard and this and that nonsense and Ratcliffe, and they're not going to investigate it. She claimed it was under review. It's not. It also shows too, Doc, how disorganized they are. The administration admitted this is a real text chain, okay? Goldberg, the author, said, I wanted to believe I was being punked or, this and that, until the bombs started falling days later. I mean, right. This is what he said. It said the bombs began falling. The administration said it's all true, this text chain. And all Pete Hegseth wants to say is, ain't nobody doing that. Right. Okay, and it's just, come on, Doc.
Yeah, 4 more years. All right, well, teachers are remarkable, vast majority. But there are some who do things like this. Put it at full mass. A Miami teacher puts tape on a student's mouth, a young girl. A Miami mother said that her daughter's pre-K teacher placed tape over the 5-year-old's mouth as discipline against the child. When the teacher later apologized, she claimed it was a playful action that the child requested. According to WSVN, the incident happened at Laurel Park Elementary. LaTonya Sterling said she first learned about her child being taped via the mouth from her daughter, Treasurer's aunt, and godmother, Natasha Clay. So Clay's daughter, Janiyah, who is the cousin of the victim, is in the same pre-K class. So she recounted the moments her daughter told her what happened. Quote, I was sitting at home Friday night watching TV. She looked over to me and she said, quote, Mom, Miss Nunez put tape over Treasure's mouth. Clay said, quote, she tore the tape and put it over her mouth. It bothers me. That's my child. You're trying to shut her up, Sterling said of the teacher. The family said they confronted the educator, and she later did apologize through a text. Quote, I apologize 1,000 times. It won't happen again. The irony of the message, the teacher's apology seems in the context of a child's apology. I apologize 1,000 times. All right, I won't do it again 1,000 times on the board, et cetera. The fact that this happened or occurred in the first place is unbelievable. There was no self-reporting. The students told on her. So she says, I would not play with them again this way, but it's because they asked for it. But the apology wasn't enough for the family, who later did file a report with Miami-Dade Schools Police and said they plan to withdraw both Treasure and Janiyah from the school. Quote, abuse had been done to my goddaughter that was very abusive for anybody to place tape over her mouth. And knowing when you remove the tape is painful as well, Clay said. Other parents found the incident unsettling. Quote, it's very scary for the child who wants that to happen. No one wants that to happen, said parent Alona Roll. In a statement, the school said the teacher has been removed from the classroom, reassigned pending an investigation into the incident. We reported yesterday about a coach, a high school coach, that decided to physically assault one of his players. He was coach of the women's basketball team. He gets fired, okay? These are crimes. This is abuse. This is illegal. And typically every state has a qualifier, meaning you have additional responsibilities if you are in a position of public trust dealing with children. There are crimes that will apply to you that will not apply to the general public. For some reason, the routine response after child abuse or minor abuse or neglect has been a suspension or firing. That is not the goal. That is not justice, and that doesn't remedy the situation, nor does it send the right message to others who may try to engage in such activity in the profession. Few they may be. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
It's just a disgusting display, and you're right. It took the kids to know the right thing to do. Tell somebody. This happened, tell somebody. No self-reporting, the school is clueless. You better take those kids out of there, which is a hassle and disruptive, but it's far more disruptive to leave them there. This is just not the right thing. The incident you reported with the coach, bam, spot on. You can't work here anymore. This one, kids don't matter.
Yeah, and the system itself sends a message about what's really their priority when they don't engage in the right activity of advocacy and holding teachers accountable. We got more on the other side. Indisputable. Stick and stay.
Damn it, they failed us. And if you're not angry about that, Michael, and any of you out there, then you're damn wrong, because you should be angry. Young Turks.
It was genuine. He was mad.
Cenk Uygur, known online as one of the Young Turks, isn't afraid to throw some punches.
3, 2, 1, fade up.
Cenk the Turk Uygur.
What kind of TV station is this? The whole point is for me to yell and scream and tell you what I think.
It was right out of like Wayne's World.
This guy on this little rinky-dink website is speaking truth to power.
We've been averaging 600,000 views a day, beating most of the cable shows in America.
We're the largest online news show in the world.
We're celebrating our 1 billionth view. Television, we're coming.
More politics ahead with Cenk Uygur.
He knew that the MSNBC opportunity was an experiment.
And Phil and host beat CNN and headline news combined. At some point, they want to give me a show.
Every single year, that comes out of our paycheck. We put it in, and you're saying we were suckers.
When you, as a host, tells someone you're interviewing to shut up, that's going to raise a red flag.
That guy needed a tall glass of shut up juice.
If President Obama's doing the wrong thing, I'm not going to tell you that he's doing the right thing so I can, quote, support him.
He says to me, "You won't believe the meeting that I just had."
The head of MSNBC talked to me.
And they want him off the air.
Cenk took an incredible risk.
We're supposed to challenge the government. That's the role of the media. The Democrats and the Republicans are here to screw you. And who on the air is saying it?
I wouldn't have done what he did.
That if I'm going to be a talk show host, I should be the biggest talk show host in the country. I don't think anyone else does it better. I don't think anyone's even close.
Before you know it, I'll be back on your TV doing a national show. I guarantee it.
Magic. It's showtime. And say 45 minutes. I'm hosting today. Now I know what you're thinking, Jerry, your face is already perfect, but you know what? I still need to apply some makeup. I went through this process, right? A few years ago. When I realized that I was gonna have to wear makeup on the show. I had to go through like finding out what my undertones were. You guys know what those are? I got my MAC Cosmetics. It says SPF 15 foundation, broad spectrum. But apparently what I have is red undertones, and I think pores are not supposed to be seen. I need all these things to be confirmed for me. These sponge things don't work for me. You gotta use your hands. At least I do. That's how the magic really happens. So we're gonna go through a tutorial. How to make the magic happen from beautiful to beautifuler. Let's go. I've already been moisturized. That's the first thing. But moisturization already happened. We go raw. All hands. Pick it up. Couple streaks. This is the guy way of putting on makeup. Look at that. Dots. There's some shiny points that generally happen. First of all, here we go. You dust here. I'm putting way too much for you, dust. Oh, get the excess off. You don't want chunky powder. There's like a T-zone, I think, right? Mine is a double T-zone. Because I went middle and another cross. Make sure your nose isn't all shiny. People get on you for it. They'll say, that's not a good point you made on there, JR. Your nose is shiny. You guys are picky like that sometimes. I think that's about it, fellas and ladies. See you guys next time. Bitsies.
All right, welcome back. Lot of comments. Also, don't forget Indisputable, the podcast. If you miss us here, want to take us on the road, listen to previous shows, you can do so. Go to Spotify or anywhere virtually you get podcasts. Rate us 5 stars if you like the program. We'll appreciate you in advance. All right. Nostra Science says, President Trump just issued a tweet warning to his White House staff. Quote, don't use the TYT Live member comment section to plan my invasion of Greenland. Yeah, Trump said he don't know what's going on around here. YouTube, with respect to, I don't have a name on this one, but it says, with respect, I prefer my double dose of sharing to my double dose of caring. Well, we concur. That's why we have her here so much.
Very kind.
That's nice. Busy B, I know you have to be professional, Doc, but please laugh. We need to fit all the laughter in we can get at this point. I'm with you on that. And Moon Dragon said that. Thank you, Moon Dragon. And greatly appreciate you as well for that other, all right? And Bernie, the Kiwi Dragon, says, it's just Cheeto Dust, Doc. He's too cheap to buy bronzer. So that's why it looks like that. Okay. And Matthias Baum says, that person in painting looks a lot better than Trump himself. Purple Rain Dragon with context. That portrait was commissioned prior to his Ozempic stint. He was full-faced previously. Jan Morgan, quote, I don't always include random reporters in unsecured group chats about classified military operations, but when I do, it's done because I'm drunk and incompetent. Pete Hegseth. Sir James Bonds of Steel says the journalists practice greater OPSEC than the damn administration, OPSEC, Operation Security. And Lynn, when the apology is followed by the word but, the apology is negated. That's what I've been looking for. That is the absolute perfect contextualization of the apologies we've read on the show from those who abuse others. Yep. Thank you, Lynn. All right. Charlene Irvin, shaking my head again, a person with no moral compass. You're about to lose your job. Get this dance. Yeah. All right. Very sad. All right. We got something for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish a Karen would.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free. Back off.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Bro, you're a bitch, homie. You're a bitch. Your mama's a bitch, homie. What you gonna do? 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 You're oh, your mama's a hoe. Your mama's a hoe.
Let us try to dissect this. Put it up for mass. This is an interesting one, okay? According to the narrative, The baseball fan, AKA male Karen in question, gets upset over another man's shirt, while the poster claims he was angered by her boyfriend's team attire. Perhaps this Oakland A's fan anger really stems from the owner moving the team to Sacramento this year. Okay. Sir, you don't have to internalize all this pain. You really don't. If you are that passionate about sports, sir, you need to watch it from your house. This is too much inner conflict for you, okay? The opposition team and other teams may be represented in such public arenas, all right? Okay, I hope that helps you in life. Sharon, thoughts here?
Yeah, and listen, you lose all credibility once you start claiming your mom's a hoe to people. It's just, you don't want to do that in certain parts. You know that,
That's
Doc.
right.
The baseball game, it's not good either. But you say that in certain parts, certain areas, and you're going to get your comeuppance. Okay?
Yeah, as they used to say, them fighting words.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Hell of a thing. So a mother decides to get on a bus and fight her kid's bully herself. Put it up full mass. 36-year-old Latia Hintz. She's a mother who lives in Indianapolis. She has now been charged with multiple felonies after police said she boarded a school bus with her 2 children and beat up an 8th grader, breaking the child's nose, okay? The prosecutor, Ryan Mears, said the mother not only punched the child, but was the clear instigator in the fight. The irony is, even if she was not the instigator, due to the fact that this is a child, a minor, the adult would still face criminal penalty. But to instigate it yourself with no context of self-defense, no context of aggressive behavior toward you, is quite insane. So the altercation, which took place March 6th on the way to school, was captured by multiple video cameras on the bus. The buses have cameras now. It shows the woman, the mother, Ms. Hintz, boarding the vehicle behind her 2 children. Son, 13 years of age, and a daughter who is 17. When the driver tells her parents aren't allowed on the bus, Ms. Hintz advises, you better call the police. Her 2 children, meanwhile, had already begun attacking the 14-year-old 8th grader. So understand what's happening. This is a conspiracy to recruit 2 minors who happen to be your children to engage in jumping somebody, according to the allegation. There's more. Ms. Hintz then seen walking down the aisle toward the fight while yelling, quote, beat his ass, end quote. The 36-year-old joins in the beatdown, throwing several punches at the student and pulling his hair. One student can be heard saying, hey, don't jump him. Why are you jumping him? Hintz replies with a threat, telling the other students on the bus, quote, I'm going to tear this up. I'm tired of you B-ass kids. Anybody want to get active? End quote. These are children. These are children. These are babies, okay? What they're yelling has more maturity than what she's yelling. what they are attempting to stop has more maturity than what she's currently engaged in. The boy she attacked disputed Kent's allegation that he had hit her 13-year-old son. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Security footage showed the trio exiting the bus after the fight. As he walks down the aisle, the
Welcome back, Doc. We'll return in just a moment. Let's get back to the mother, yes, mother, who decided to board a bus and have somebody jumped, if you will, child. Let's get into the rest of this. Security footage showed the trio exiting the bus shortly after the fight. As he walks down the aisle, 13-year-old can be seen exchanging high fives with the other students. Hence is charged with criminal confinement, battery resulting in moderate injury, intimidation, and criminal trespass, all felonies. Her two children also face undisclosed charges, according to local outlets. Their mother told police her son had not been acting like himself lately due to an ongoing bullying situation. 13-year-old later told officers the school was aware of the bullying, but had done nothing to stop it. Atlanta Black Star filling in the details. The boy she attacked disputed Hence's allegations that he had hit her 13-year-old son the day before the bus attack, telling officers he sometimes jokes with the younger boy, but that nothing physical ever took place. 14-year-old boy's mother later told police that her son was half Mexican and had recently been subjected to racist jokes about immigration and customs enforcement agents deporting him. Bus driver told officers that on the day before the fight, the two boys had reported potential bullying on the bus. Hence, his son reportedly told the driver that he had been slapped by an 8th grade student. The older boy then told the driver that the 13-year-old had been making racist comments. Driver said she reported the incident to school administrators. Now, according to the court documents, a Warren Township school officer said 14-year-old sustained a cut, swelling around his left eye. The student's mother said doctors at Riley's Hospital for Children determined her son's nose had been fractured as well. Hence has been ordered to stay away from the 14-year-old victim. She's prohibited from visiting any property or buildings owned by Warren Township schools. So this is horrific. It's a horrific display or lack of a display of good judgment by a parent. Listen, I love my daughter to life, and I don't want her bullied. She's been bullied before. But you don't go board a bus. And by the way, the school bus driver seems to have done the right thing here. Notified the school before the incident. Said this happened. Gave reports, both accounts of what the kids had said, the 14-year-old and the 13-year-old, okay? 14-year-old's the victim in this case of the physical assault. I don't know what charges, if any, Hence's children should face. I mean, they're doing this at the direction of their mother who lacks parental judgment here. I mean, that's pretty clear. She lacks parental judgment. And if your mother is directing you to do these things, then how can we hold them accountable? We know who needs to be held accountable. This is not the way to handle it. Schools can always do better with bullying. Trust me, they can do more. This, though, is not the correct response. It's just not how things should go. This is indisputable. Sharon Reed alongside Dr. Rashad Ritchie. I'm just Doc's special guest co-host today. He'll be back in a moment. Sometimes he lets me read a few of the stories, even when he's here. We're right back.
Indisputable is still the fastest growing news show in America compared to CNN, Fox News, and 30 other networks. We tell the truth on Indisputable because the truth is indisputable. We go places that other news media outlets refuse to go. When there were human rights abuses happening at the Victorville prison, guards and members of the community contacted us.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
It really doesn't take much to be a trusted voice. All it takes is to be fearless, report on matters, be an advocate. I called it the bullpen intentionally because it's a place of preparation. We present individuals who may have an opposing view, so we debate. Sometimes we interview individuals because their stories deserve to be heard. A survivor of significant police misconduct and his attorney. We covered this story earlier and to remind you of the horror of one man being shot at damn near 100 times by the police. We take time on this show to showcase the temper tantrums of Karens in the wild. We do this not because we want to see people's emotional outbursts in public, but because these incidents are emblematic of a bigger societal issue taking place across the nation, and it has to be checked.
My friend, my big homie, attorney at law, Benjamin Crump.
I just want to thank you, man. Educated, articulate brothers like yourself speak truth to power. It makes a great difference in changing the landscape in America. So
listen, no matter what you do, don't allow the politics of ideology to evaporate the soul that still exists inside of you. They don't stop, I don't stop. Racism won't stop, I won't stop. Systemic bias won't stop, I won't stop. People still need health care, so I won't stop. People still need criminal justice systems reform, so I won't stop. You won't stop either.
I'm wearing one of our pieces of merchandise. So the funny thing about the Dragon Squad, and that's what our viewers call themselves. That's the name of the group, but every individual chooses their own name. You might have Cincinnati Dragon. You might have Harry Potter Dragon. We have a Grandma Sunshine Dragon is one of those that I remember. These are people that like to have an element of themselves, their lives, what's significant to them reflected as a part of the community. But the concept of the Dragon Squad is just something I threw away as a joke. I was mocking the Proud Boys, these like right-wing groups that come up with a name for themselves that they think is cool, but it's actually really lame. And I thought, off the top of my head, I can come up with something that's still kind of lame, but much cooler. And so I threw out Dragon Squad and I just moved on with my life. But everybody liked it, and so they kept it going, and so we've embraced it. And I think again, this was during the period of the pandemic. I think it was sort of nice to have a renewed sense of community, a feeling that you're a part of something when everything seems so chaotic. And as a result of that, we've got independent artists online streaming, making beautiful digital art of dragons. We've got, we've released a number of pieces of merchandise that people love sending us photos of them. And then by the way, for me personally, people send me, like you can probably see in the background, like a knitted dragon someone sent me. There's a dragon book they sent me, dragon board games they send me. People have done like custom ironworks, making dragon bottle openers. Like the fans are super invested in diamond art and things like that. And so it's great that they send this stuff. Sometime we're gonna have to set up a wall of all of it. But yeah, it's definitely brought the community a lot closer together. The fact that we were no longer in this big studio, I felt a lot more personally attached to people. It felt very immediate. And I know that I personally needed the connection.
All right, welcome back. My apologies, experienced a tech issue on my side of the studio. I'm always thankful for Sharon Reed to the rescue, as usual, per usual. All right, we got a lot of comments. I will read as many as I can. I concur with this embedded dude. Sharon is TYT's 911.
Know about that now. Come on.
Quote of the year. C. Narc Burgess, maybe the C solid, I don't know. Give me some help in the pronunciation. Miss Sharon to the rescue, that's right. Nastasia, where Sharon was on more venues, she's just so genuine. And Sharon is on other venues, and you can check out Sharon directly. Sharon, tell them how they can follow you through all of your permeations of commentary.
And well, I love Rebel HQ. Thank you, TYT, for that platform. I got some good traction with a recent video, and they've all been pretty good, so I appreciate the support. At Sharon Reed, live across all platforms, and Substack. I'm on now, Leveraged with Sharon Reed. So I hope you could subscribe there on Substack. I'm having a little bit of fun. And they had a lot of fun, Doc, with that text leak to the reporter with it. Yeah. I mean, the memes and stuff. These people, they done lost their minds, but it's hilarious what they're sending out. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the wild west over there. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon, for all you do. Okay. Donald James X says, "Oh, man, an A's fan? Thanks a lot, Karen, for making us look bad. Okay. Yeah. So Nick, the Silver Flame Dragon says, is it just me? Or has there been a serious uptick in male Karens over the last few months? I said something similar, but here's what was happening, I believe. This is not about quantity, it's about degree. Their intensity of Karenicity has increased. They've always been Karens. As we had a licensed counselor on the program, happens to be my producer's Jordan's dad, who said to us, Karenicity is incurable. So that was some sad news. But you can learn to deal with it, to arrest it, and to not allow it to develop, all right? Dex, if Ballpark Karen had pulled that stunt in Dodger Stadium or worse, in Philly, he'd be missing all of his imported teeth. That is an important teeth. I like that one. All right. Yeah. This is, I think, Into 6-1. Too often it seems that a school will protect a bullet until the victim retaliates. Then they start clutching their pearls. And that happens often. We've seen administrations try to cover up for the bully. And it's not because they care about the bully. This is all about their own institution, enterprise, and what they understand as leadership. So you're right.
I apologize. I just had a quick question. You mentioned producer Jordan, who I love, and his father, who has these credentials. Did he happen to say whether he believes one day, I mean, because it stunned me when you said incurable, this Karenicity. Does he believe one day that we'll be able to mitigate some of the behavior, like with diabetes, there's insulin, there's these chronic diseases that people can live with?
Yes, that is exactly what he said.
Oh, wow.
That basically, if they can recognize their pattern and consciously know this pattern, they can actually make moves to counter the pattern when they sit. I remember the whole damn interview because it was fascinating, his understanding of it, and also his contextualization of how a person can still be a good person and a Karen at the same time. So there's hope, according to the profession.
But no drugs. I'd like to have him. I'd like to just give him a little boost to recognize the behavior, but maybe shoot him up with something. But I think it's fascinating. Fascinating.
All right. Well, telling the truth and engaging in unity will get you on the wrong side of people that don't want to engage in unity and peace. Oscar-winning Palestinian director was assaulted by Israeli settlers. This is a horrific story. Put up the picture full mass. This was actually a beautiful, unified moment internationally. I'm going to explain. So according to eyewitnesses, before it turned into this thing, the Palestinian co-director of the Oscar-winning film No Other Land, Hamdan Bilal, who worked with Palestinian and Jewish coalitions. For this, he was beaten up by Israeli settlers in occupied West Bank and then taken away by Israeli soldiers yesterday. In a breaking update, he has now been released by the Israeli soldiers. Bilal's co-director, Basil Adra, told CNN that he had gone to Bilal's home in the West Bank village of Susaya on Monday after Bilal called him in distress. He arrived to see Bilal and at least one other person being taken away. Outside Bilal's home was a group of Israeli settlers, some of whom were throwing actual stones, Adra said. Israeli police and military were also outside the home, and Israeli soldiers were firing at anyone who tried to get close, he added. The Israeli military said it had arrived at the scene of a, quote, violent confrontation between Palestinians and Israelis who were throwing rocks at each other. It said the fight had broken out after several terrorists hurled rocks at Israeli citizens, damaging their vehicles, end quote. 3 Palestinians and an Israeli were taken in for questioning after several terrorists, quote, threw rocks at the security forces, it said. So Yuval Abraham, another co-director of the film, who is Israeli, okay, said Bilal had sustained injuries to his head and abdomen and had not been heard from since. Abraham did not witness the incident, he was informed. So here's the most recent update, okay? So Bilal was in the process of being released on Tuesday afternoon after being held overnight in police detention. This was in an Israeli settlement in the West Bank, his lawyer told CNN. 5 American activists from the Center for Jewish Nonviolence, who were also at the scene on Monday, said they too had been assaulted by Israeli settlers. They said more than a dozen settlers had attacked the village, wielding batons, knives, and at least one assault rifle, following a dispute involving an Israeli settler who was shepherding near a Palestinian home. Okay, so earlier this month, Bilal, Audra, and Abraham all stood on stage. This is a beautiful international moment here, that picture, okay? They stood beside each other to accept the Oscar for Best Documentary. The joint Israeli-Palestinian team's film recounts the eviction of Palestinians from their homes in the occupied West Bank. Keep those individuals up. That's leadership. That kind of leadership comes from a deep, deep conviction about humanity, caring. They told the truth. They understood potential consequences. And they're unified regardless of what culture or faith belief system they may or may not subscribe to. That is the elevation of consciousness. That is the elevation of self, which allows for the elevation of all. Thank you, gentlemen. So Jezebel reported that in Gaza, there's significant gender-based violence as well against Palestinians. It's described as systematic. I said this a while ago in Indisputable. What they're attempting to do is eliminate a gender pool because they're attempting to eliminate their ability or lessen it significantly to reproduce, to have children, to have families, to continue to thrive as a population, as people. Let's be very clear. When Schumer says his most important job is to keep things pro-Israel in the Democratic Party, and then he brags about how much aid he has approved for Israel from America. Understand what he's saying. You see, I am pro-Israeli. The people of Israel, the human beings. He is pro-Israeli military. He is pro-Netanyahu and other permeations of the military-industrial complex international. Don't allow them to put you in a box and make you believe that because you are antithetical to war crimes, that you are somehow also adverse to Israeli people. Because I remember 2 years ago when Kanye West and those on the right were saying racist things about Jews and the Jewish community, when they were hanging flags over bypasses around the United States, when there was this sentiment among the right. I remember us on the left defending our Jewish brothers and sisters. Brought individuals on the program, my Jewish colleagues on the show to talk about it openly. So, this report is going to disturb you. Earlier this month, a 50-page report on genocidal acts committed by Israeli forces and settlers against Palestinians was published by the United Nations Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the occupied Palestinian territory. It's the 5th report by the commission since October 2023. And this one specifically focused on gender-based violence against Palestinians, including sexual assault, sexual torture, targeted attacks on their ability to safely give birth. The commission ultimately concluded Israel, the government, the complex of military powers, is guilty of the crime against humanity for extermination. Interesting note. Crimes against humanity has become a talking point to pundits and those that have political agendas. The reality is, the only agency who has the actual authority to declare a crime against humanity is the United Nations. That has been declared. There's no ambiguity about it. There's a warrant out for Netanyahu's arrest currently. When you look at Israeli soldiers, you wonder how they could be ordinary human beings after this. To come out of a genocidal campaign of this brutality to their families, kids, communities. Chris Sidoti, an international human rights lawyer who serves on the commission and co-wrote the report, told Jezebel. The commission determined that Gaza's 540,000 women and girls of reproductive age have been left without access to sexual and reproductive health care. Consequently, rates of deadly infections, miscarriage, and maternal and infant mortality have surged. C-sections in Gaza hospitals are sometimes performed without anesthesia and adequate medical supplies. I couldn't imagine. How do the soldiers do it? He's asking. How do they live with themselves? How do they look in the mirror? How do they go to sleep at night? It's called indoctrination. It's called indoctrination. And they have gone through an indoctrination process that has been well tuned over the years. So by the time they get into this space, they are indoctrinated against a group of people. And they now view those brothers and sisters of theirs as subhuman. That's how. Similar to what is being attempted here. All right, Sharon, thoughts?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important for certain people to keep this discussion at a minimum. They don't want the free flow of information. They don't want alternative ideas. They don't want to humanize other people that you get through that kind of dialogue. I'm just so grateful that you made the distinction between the Israeli people, who actually deserve so much better than what they're getting in Netanyahu and at his direction, the IDF. It's sad, but the way you broke it down, who could argue with it? I know somebody who would, but who could really argue with it?
We are looking forward to better opportunities for everybody to commune. What they're doing to college students in America is quite insane, and is quietly becoming the battleground for free speech and free speech policy in America. All right, we got more on the other side. Indisputable stick and stay.
What contributions to the progressive cause are you most proud of? I mean, I don't have super high aspirations for a singular role that I can play in the movement or anything. I try to present myself as what I think that I am, which is a progressive man who is driven by I think, well-interrogated and well-organized system of values that I try to stay consistent on, and I demonstrate that that's the sort of life that a person can lead and be successful and be happy and all of that. And that should not need to be done, but there are so many people on the right that are trying to push men in the opposite direction that I want to be able to do that. Along the way, if I can get people to care about some topics that they wouldn't necessarily care about, or that for some men they might think that's not a topic that they should be focused on, that's definitely something that I relish doing. And along the way, I mean, we've been able to introduce people to a lot of candidates. That's been a big part of what we've done. Not all of them necessarily got in office. Probably most of them did not. And a lot of them you might not even remember their names. But it was great to be able to provide people the platform where they had the chance of making a difference. Obviously AOC and all that, but there's been a lot of great people along the way.
In the bonus episode for the members, we do some inside baseball. We're gonna look at John's desk. Nice little spaceship here. Nerd, but it is kind of look cool. Who has Legos? Oh no, he's taken apart a keyboard. Who has a mouse pad that's this big? He's got a dog with a nose that you could hang something on. You know what this desk screams to me? Nerd. And that's how we like him. We love Johnny Pie. He's got his own personality like everybody does at TYT. Come meet us all in the bonus episodes. TYT.com/team. David Sorrell.
Dr. Phil.
Adam Green drop by.
Charlemagne.
Congressman, great to have you. It's great to be with you, Chang.
Your show is a great thing. You're informing people. A lot of the shows that I live on, my CNN, my MSNBC, and even Fox, and any of the other shows, NPR, they are so quick to decide that they know what this building means today.
The one thing that I hate that politicians do, they talk about the people they should be talking to.
Do they have any idea that they're the establishment and that they're hated, or do they not realize that at all?
People are so deeply in their little universe. I think it's very easy to not really question what you're doing.
Voters have a right to ask questions of any nominee, whether they're independent, Republican, or Democrat.
The system is duopoly that suppresses competition.
How is it the year 2024 and we're still like, maybe they'll talk about paid medical? Like how is that like at one level it's like, this is what we're talking about now. You're like, it's 2024. And that's always been the critique, that your critique of us is, well, you guys give good speeches, you put out good tweets, but you're not wielding actual power. Now we're starting to.
Yes. Congratulations on all your success. You guys are everywhere. It's about a country and a principle, and that's what you and I both worked to achieve. And I'm so glad that at least half the battle has now been won.
If you want to go really hear what's going on honestly, you should tune in to the Young Turks.
Thanks for doing such a great job. Please keep it up. Hang tough.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Oh, I like making you happy.
I didn't know about
This
that.
is a happy Attic experience.
Awesome.
You're welcome, YouTube.
Join the Dragon Squad by becoming a YouTube channel member. Click the join button below or sign up on tyt.com/join to get access to fun emojis, a member-only chat, exclusive shop TYT designs, ad-free watching, and so many other amazing perks. Plus, you get bragging rights for being part of the coolest community on the internet and help us drive real, positive change in the world. The Dragon Squad awaits, so join today.
All right, welcome back. Always good to be with you. We have some comments to read. We appreciate everyone. Very thankful for everyone who joins us, all right? Yeah, Embedded Dude says, how long are we going to allow Zionists to use the Holocaust as an excuse to abuse other ethnicities and seize their homelands? They're not special or chosen. They're just people, the people. You know, it's a great irony, is it not? I heard one of our Jewish brothers break it down so well when he was questioned about this from another Jewish colleague at a lecture. He believes that what Israel is doing is in fact genocide. And he's Jewish, raised in Israel, came to America, is a professor today. And when he was questioned during the Q&A about his stance in the Holocaust, he said, that's exactly why we should be on the other side of this. It's because of the suffering and the lessons learned from that. And I think that is one of the greatest ironies untold in the understanding of this scenario, is that we typically don't remember how we go from oppressed to oppressor. But there's something that happens in that. It's very sad. It's very sad. All right, so Tyler Hackner says, a great quote, humanity must be prioritized above all. That's it. It is not complex. It ain't complex. All right. TJ94, Bibi Netanyahu, or whatever his name is sicking his minions on people now. Shaking my head. No. Octasquides, great point. Calling people who were throwing rocks as terrorists is frightening. Not to mention, I highly doubt that any of them were throwing rocks. I mean, they had a whole story for the campaign. They were ready. All right. Well, Trumper arrested for trying to tase anti-Tesla protesters. All right, put it a full mask. Let's get into it. Ricardo Ruiz, pro-Donald Trump influencer, was arrested on Saturday for using a taser-like object on protesters at an anti-Tesla event in Berkeley, California. Ricardo was arrested at the scene after allegedly using the weapon to ward off protesters who he said had pulled his hair. Okay. You know, this has already gone too far. It's been too far. Tesla is a car company, but because the car company is owned by the current president of the United States, Elon Musk, it becomes a political issue that deserves a counter protest to the protest, which is rooted in policy. The protest is rooted in the policies of Elon Musk. This is an asset of his. And so they are bringing attention and awareness. Well, there has to be a counter protest. What are you counter protesting? You all are getting everything that you want and more. What in the hell are you complaining about? If I had a de facto shadow government president working for me and the people I love, like Elon and Trump have been working for you in the red meetings, et cetera, I wouldn't protest a damn thing. What is that a protest? They're delivering on your corrupt agenda. So in an unverified video of the incident captured by a protester, Ricardo can be seen cycling past the demonstration before stopping after two attendees appear to confront him. He then reaches in his jacket and thrusts his arm at the two protesters while holding a black object. A woman then grabs his hair and pulls him off his bicycle. Okay, all right. So Ricardo, see what you did here is you engaged in aggressive action. And they defended themselves because you brought a weapon and attempted to deploy it, according to the report. Police separate him from the protesters and then removed him from the scene. Berkeley police officer Steve Rigo said that Ruiz could face charges of brandishing a weapon or assault, but only if the device had made physical contact with another person. As he was taken into custody, Ricardo maintained that he had acted in self-defense, claiming a protester had pulled his hair before he took out the weapon. That's according to reports from Berkeley's side. Quote, "I don't tase anyone," Ruiz said. Quote, "I pulled it out to protect myself," end quote. According to eyewitness reports, no one was hit by the alleged weapon, but sparks flew from it on multiple instances. Authorities have not confirmed if Ruiz will face any charges for his actions at the protest. All right. Interesting saga. I'm still trying to understand the why. All right. Hopefully, sir, you didn't hurt anyone and don't hurt anyone in the future. And you seem to not be medically hurt yourself. All right. Everybody can walk away, learn a lesson. Sharon, thoughts here.
Doc, this is so ignorant. Okay. Sparks flying from it. Why are you tasing someone? This is in Berkeley. Okay, someone pulls your hair, that's not fun. It's not Atlanta. You pull somebody's hair, it might come off. You might get tased for that. This is Berkeley, Doc. There's no need for this. Don't try to rewrite it. This is wrong. He should be charged. And we just can't have this kind of thing. It's just so ignorant.
Yeah. All right. All right. We got more on the other side. Indisputable. Stick and stay.
Damn it, they failed us. And if you're not angry about that, Michael, and any of you out there, then you're damn wrong. Because you should be angry. Young Turks.
It was genuine. He was mad.
Cenk Uygur, known online as one of the Young Turks, isn't afraid to throw some punches.
3, 2, 1, fade up.
Cenk the Turk Uygur.
What kind of TV station is this? The whole point is for me to yell and scream and tell you what I think.
It was right out of like Wayne's World.
This guy on this little rinky-dink website is speaking truth to power.
We've been averaging 600,000 views a day, beating most of the cable shows in America.
We're the largest online news show in the world. We're celebrating our 1 billionth view.
Television, we're coming.
More politics ahead with Cenk Uygur.
He knew that the MSNBC opportunity was an experiment.
If Phil and host beat CNN and headline news combined, at some point, they want to give me a show.
Every single year, that comes out of our paycheck. We put it in, and you're saying we were suckers.
When you, as a host, tells someone you're interviewing to shut up, that's going to raise a red flag.
That guy needed a tall glass of shut up juice.
If President Obama's doing the wrong thing, I'm not going to tell you that he's doing the right thing so I can, quote, support him.
He says to me, "You won't believe the meeting that I just had."
The head of MSNBC talked to me.
They want him off the air.
Cenk took an incredible risk.
We're supposed to challenge the government. That's the role of the media. The Democrats and the Republicans are here to screw you. And who on the air is saying it?
I wouldn't have done what he did.
That if I'm going to be a talk show host, I should be the biggest talk show host in the country. I don't think anyone else does it better. I don't think anyone's even close.
Before you know it, I'll be back on your TV doing a national show. I guarantee it.
Magic. It's showtime. And say 45 minutes. I'm hosting today. Now I know what you're thinking, Jerry, your face is already perfect, but you know what? I still need to apply some makeup. I went through this process, right? A few years ago. When I realized that I was gonna have to wear makeup on the show, I had to go through like finding out what my undertones were. You guys know what those are? I got my MAC Cosmetics. It says SPF 15 foundation, broad spectrum. But apparently, when I have this red undertones, and I think pores are not supposed to be seen. I need all these things to be confirmed for me. These sponge things don't work for me. You gotta use your hands. At least I do. That's how the magic really happens. So we're gonna go through a tutorial how to make the magic happen from beautiful to beautifuler. Let's go. I've already been moisturized. That's the first thing. But moisturization already happened. We go raw. All hands. Pick up a couple streaks. This is the guy we're putting on makeup. We got dots. There's some shiny points that generally happen. First of all, here we go. You dust here. I'm putting way too much, but you dust. Oh, get the excess off. You don't want chunky powder. There's like a T-zone, I think, right? Mine is a double T-zone. Because I went middle and another cross. Make sure your nose isn't all shiny. People get on you for it. They'll say, that's not a good point you made on there, JR. Your nose is shiny. You guys are picky like that sometimes. I think that's about it, fellas and ladies. See you guys next time. Bitsies.
Welcome back. All right, a lot of show left. We will read some of these comments. Really appreciate everyone for joining the conversation. All right. Donald James X, vandalizing garbage cans on wheels is one thing. But when you physically assault a person, that's different. Sea Prince Reborn Dragon says, yeah, what are they upset about? People don't love everything they love. We don't fluff their guys like they do. We really don't. Jackal Dragon, 1991. He saw an opportunity to do harm, so he took it. And I think this is Cow_Rock. His peers would decide if this was reasonable. Or maybe not. There you go. All right. A true legend, iconic individual, humanitarian. Boxing legend George Foreman passed away. We want to do a tribute. He was 76 years of age. Here it is.
Foreman made a celebrated return to boxing when he was in his 40s. That was before he made millions selling the George Foreman grill, but long after he won and lost the heavyweight title in two of the most famous fights in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
He was known as one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. But George Foreman was also a master of reinvention.
And tell them the king of the grill sent you.
At 19 years old, he captured the heavyweight boxing gold medal at the 1968 Olympics. After turning pro, he won 37 straight matches before knocking out an undefeated smoking Joe Frazier.
George Foreman is the heavyweight champion of the world.
He defended the title twice.
All right, put it up full mass. Remarkable life. I mean, through and through, he lived, redefined himself, reinvented himself over and over again, remained relevant, remained active, and remained George Foreman. Heavyweight boxing champion who made his return to the sport to regain his title. He was 45. I remember watching that fight with my uncle who had the fight, a fight night, watch night at his house. It was unbelievable because my family, my uncles, they were about that age, okay? And to see this guy do something like this at that age was let's just say, unbelievable. All right. So he became a personality, a pitch man, one of the most successful, if not the most successful based on certain numbers in the industry, built a multi-million-dollar grill business. The Foreman family announced his passing with the following statement, quote, "Our hearts are broken with profound sorrow. We announce the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman Sr., who peacefully departed on March 21st, 2025. Surrounded by loved ones, a devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great-grandfather. He lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. A humanitarian, an Olympian, and two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He was deeply respected, a force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family." End quote. Foreman, who was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003 and the Houston Sports Hall of Fame in 2019, won a gold medal in 1968, then went on to knock out Joe Frazier, which was stunning to the world, for the heavyweight title in 1973. This was in Kingston, Jamaica, eliciting the iconic quote, "Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier." That was the call from Howard Cosell on TV broadcast, repeated all the time. After two successful title defenses, Foreman lost the belt to none other than Muhammad Ali in the famous Rumble in the Jungle, 1994, Zaire. He would go on to win 5 more fights, including proving that he could stop smoking Joe Frazier. Okay, again. But he gave up boxing in 1977 when he found faith. He found a higher purpose. He wanted to connect with people beyond boxing. So he returned to Houston, went through a process to become an ordained Christian minister operating the George Foreman Youth and Community Center. He took that ordination to actually give back to children, not to preach in a pulpit and have people pay him for the word, all right? He opened up a youth center. That is called leadership and heart. This, after 10 years, being completely away from boxing, he then returned to the ring, having accomplished all these great humanitarian dynamics that he wanted to do, mentoring, etc. He made a comeback at 38 years of age. He would go on to become the oldest heavyweight champion when he beat Michael Moore. I remember this one, for the title in 1994. He was 45 years of age when he did that. He was the pitchman behind the George Foreman Grill, which also seemed to be in every household in the late 1990s. And his gregarious personality often was featured on late night talk shows. Many have written and shared tributes to honor Foreman's legacy. NBA iconic Magic Johnson, remembered attending, quote, so many of George's championship fights, end quote, as he paid tribute to one of his boxing heroes on X, quote, he was a knockout artist in the ring. And it was a pleasure getting to know him, not only as a boxer, but as a man. After leaving the ring, he turned into an amazing businessman. I even bought one of the first George Foreman grills, Johnson added. I had a George Foreman grill as well. Trump even shared a post on Truth Social, okay? George Foreman is dead. What a great fighter. He had, without question, the heaviest and biggest punch in the history of boxing, with the exception of Ali. when you get hit, you went down. He was something really special. But above all, he was a great person with a personality that was bigger than life. I knew him well, and he will be missed. Warmest condolences to his wonderful family. I think his words says it all. Trump ain't even in tune with the spirit of the honor. I highlighted that to show contrast and to help you understand that even in the most serious moment in a personal family's life, Trump would take the opportunity to show you that he's good friends with them too. I knew him well. This was about Trump. Understand that. I know these things to be improperly contextualized from the current president. Sharon, thoughts here?
I still have my Foreman grill. His accomplishments, he's like this big squeezable teddy bear that it made, I love boxing too, but it almost made you forget about his powerful punch, this heavy hitter. Just a great guy. And I love that Magic praised his business acumen because the money he made, all deserved. Nobody could sell that thing like George. It's a great product. But I like to think he made America healthier too by pushing that out there. But just the ministry, his way of doing it, the 5 sons all named George Edward Foreman, only he could do that. And he's sorely missed, sorely missed.
Yeah. Hopefully we have more like him. All right. Sharon, always a pleasure having you on the program. Tell people how they can follow you, check out your great work.
Pleasure's all mine. Rebel HQ, of course, another installment going up soon. But I really hope people will follow me on Substack. Become a subscriber. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Remember, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.